All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Western Michigan tight end Blake Bosma. How's it going, bro?
Thank you. Thank you for having me. And yep, tight end from Western Michigan, Blake Bosma. Um, Played there all 5 years and now pursuing the NFL and whatever comes next.
For sure, man. And you already introduced yourself, bro. So what got you into football?
So, what first got me into football was actually in fourth grade. I was able to play football. My mom let me. But before that, non competitively, I would do some football activities with friends, obviously what you do as a little kid, play in the backyard, flag football, stuff like that. But first time I put pads on, I was introduced to it by a neighbor, one of my buddies. His dad actually was like curious if I wanted to get into it, got me some pads to get started, and just kind of showed me how to play the game. And me and his son were doing Oklahoma drills. I was much bigger than him, but we were in the same grade, and that's really when I first fell in love with football. And that was an awesome experience, and he coached me throughout the years, and then had a great high school coach that guided me and is a very big role model to me, and then had great college coaches that have guided me through my college career. So really started out as a young age. I fell in love right when I put the pads on, right when I had my first touch of a football. So I really loved it since day one, and really started taking it serious towards my eighth grade year, when I talked to the high school coach, possibly being able to play on varsity or higher up. So that really made me hungry, and that's when I really started taking it serious, doing the extra things, and just really setting myself up for the next level. Whether I was in middle school wanting to be in high school or high school being in college, and now college wanting to be in the NFL. So it's cool to see looking back and how I've grown.
Well, I guess a lot of it has to do with a lot of the friends with the influence, man. Because
Hmm.
like when you grow up, man, there's always people who play the street ball and all that stuff. So it's like at some point it catches on with everybody.
Right. Yeah. We had lots of kids in my neighborhood. We played wiffle ball, we played basketball and football, obviously, like all the neighborhood kids. And being from Michigan, snow football was like a regular thing. So that was a big thing that I enjoyed doing. And every time it was snowing, I would tell my brother it's football weather. And he'd be kind enough to put up with me and guard me and play football with me outside. And my dad would throw us routes, and we'd shovel off the driveway, and we'd do sideline catches on the side of the driveway and try and get our feet in while falling in the snow, and just enjoying the game and loving football has always been a thing that I've done.
Yeah, it got you into it since then, and you just, I mean, there's no looking back out of it, and it's got you places. But what were the offers like in high school, man? Like,
Yeah, my high school recruiting was interesting. Freshman year, our team was really solid. I played varsity. We went to the regional finals, and we should have continued on. We blew a lead in the fourth quarter, but that one still sticks with me today. But kind of declined after my freshman year with our team, and um, we had a challenging schedule. We played in the best conference, and it was challenging. So didn't get really recruited out of high school. I had one Division II offer, and that was to Missouri S&T. Not really what I wanted to go into educationally, and that's really important. Both my parents are teachers, and so they thought that was super important, as well did I. But decided to, or I got the opportunity to walk on at Western Michigan. Coach Esposito offered me a walk on spot, and I was deciding between Western Michigan, Missouri S&T, that Division II, or Hope College or North Central. So two other Division III schools that are pretty solid and well known. But I knew I could play at the Division III level, and but I really wanted to bet on myself and challenge myself, and I did, and decided to walk on, and I'm so glad I did. Obviously, looking back on it, but freshman year started out on scout team, did all the dirty work, um, did whatever was necessary, did scout team, special teams, did scout team, whatever. I mean, I did running back, receiver, tight end, even a little bit of tackle. So Wherever the empty hole was, I was willing to put my hand up and get in there. And I was lucky to go against one of the best defenses in the nation that year, and definitely in the MAC. And they had some great players that I would go against. So I got introduced early college when I was a 200-pound freshman tight end, just not an ideal situation going up against Braden Fisk, who's now in the NFL, Andre Carter, who's a great D end, Ali Fayyad, Marshawn Nealon, all those guys, AJ Thomas, Zaire Barnes, all those guys who saw the NFL, and I was really challenged, and that's now why am where I am today. I was challenged, and they really pushed me, and then I had scout coaches that were willing to put extra time in, not just with their defense that they were in charge of, but with the scout offense. And Teddy Hefter, who is now a QB coach, and he was able to share wisdom with me on how to be a good football player, but also how to be a great offensive player and tight end. And showed me the ins and outs, and he would even look back on our film and teach us not just what we could do better for the defensive looks, but for our own skills. And that really benefited me, and I appreciate them for taking the time out and doing that for me. And then ended up getting put on scholarship my redshirt freshman year, and then um, went from there. But it was a really cool recruiting story looking back on it. And I was put on scholarship the day before the first game my redshirt freshman year in a team meeting. So that was really cool to see the support from the older guys and the coaches. So yeah, that was a really awesome experience for me.
Yeah, awesome experience from what you got over there. I mean, 101 career catches, over 1,500 yards receiving, 8 touchdowns. I mean, that's got to be good numbers the way it looks like. I mean, most tight ends who come out of college, they don't usually put up the big numbers, but at the next level, they seem to put up the way better numbers. But like just from looking at the rest, like why should NFL teams draft you, and what separates you from the rest of the tight ends?
Yeah, I think that's a great question, and I know that's a question that a lot of people are curious, and I really think that I can impact the team um, the most out of any players, and I'm not just going to impact the team on the field, but I'm going to impact the locker room. I'm going to make the tight end room better. I'm going to make just the culture overall better, and I really do pride myself on being willing to do whatever is required, and whether that's cleaning the bathrooms, catching punts like I did this year, and whether it's long snapping that I'm picking up now since I did it in high school. But just being able to impact the team in as many ways as possible is super important to me. And whatever it is that the team needs, I'm going to be willing to do. And I think I'm going to be able to do it well. And I think I've showed that at Western Michigan. I was able to put in 4 different offenses, which is not very usual, and was able to pick it up and impact the game in different ways. We've had a high tempo offense where it was all one word and we had to get there aligned quick, and it was a little bit more spread. But also this past year we didn't pass much, and I showed I could be an inline tight end and benefit the team in that way. And I think that I've showed on film throughout my 4 years that I've played how I can impact it on the field. But I think if you talk to any of my coaches or support staff or even the janitors at Western Michigan, they'll tell you that I'm a person that has uplifted their spirits and changed the culture for the positive. And I do pride myself on how I impact the team off the field and as a leader. And I also know that I love the football. I love football more than anyone else, and I'm willing to put in the most time. So those are things that I pride myself on, and changing the culture for whatever team needs it and picks me is. I'm really excited to help them out with that.
Yeah, I mean, even coming from the Western Michigan, you've put up some good numbers, and even what you just said, you're a good blocking tight end. So that might be what intrigues other teams because in today's NFL, if you're a blocking tight end, you can catch the ball. That's viable for most teams.
Yeah, I love how the tight end position has changed throughout the years, and I think even just in the past 10 years, you can look at how the tight end position has changed. I've been in a 11P offense, but now this past year we were in 13P, and it's cool to see how the NFL is doing that too. And the more tight ends, it seems the better. So I obviously love that and love how tight ends have been being used, and it's just cool to see how offenses have expanded, and really look forward to the next level.
Oh, absolutely. So, who do you model yourself after? Like, there's always some person of a player that you look up to and play your game after.
Yeah, looking being a Michigan guy, he's not a tight end, but I like Calvin Johnson's gameplay. Um, I think a very underrespected player, but one of the greats. Being from Michigan, being a Detroit Lions fan growing up, Calvin Johnson was just dominant, and seeing 50-50 balls be 90-10 balls for him is just a cool thing to see. And I think that's why I modeled my game after as a young player. But now looking at NFL guys, I obviously love how Kittle plays. He just has that crazy motor that I take pride on myself. So just seeing his motor, and then I think my gameplay is very similar to Isaiah Likely. Not the biggest, fastest dude, but able to stretch the field and give defenses mismatches. And I really think I could do that at the next level as well.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. Like just from the competition and just like the way you're kind of describing it, like even as a kid watching Calvin Johnson, that had to be something to watch. I mean, he was he was like he was just exciting to watch during his time. He was fast. He was
Yep.
just a big, lengthy receiver. I mean, if people thought this was a rare combination of a speed and big body receiver, man, he was just one of those guys.
Yeah, he could. The defense could know he was getting the ball, and he'd still find a way to make the play, whether it was
Yeah,
making
for
a
sure.
crazy high point catch or whatever it is.
Yeah, I
He
mean,
was really dominant.
being like 6'5", 230 pounds, man, running those 4.3 speed, man, just there was just no answers for that guy to get covered. But like then over the years watching Kittle, he was just a great blocking tight end coming out of Iowa and
Yep.
just gotten better over the years. And I can see where you're getting the idea because it took him time to master the position and all that. And usually that takes a while for tight ends, but over the years, you're seeing tight ends getting involved more. Now you're seeing two tight ends becoming a two tight end set. I think before that, you had the Patriots who had Aaron Hernandez and Rob Gronkowski as a two tight end set way back.
Yeah, they were dominant as well, and obviously having Tom Brady's super beneficial. And I think the great offense coordinators can use their players to their benefits, and I think that's what the Patriots did well, and I think that's what the best teams do. And I think the more tight ends they have on the field nowadays, the better. It really gives defenses challenges, and um,
Keeps them honest.
exactly.
Like you're seeing the Rams doing this 13 personnel. It's
Yeah, they're
just,
living in 13P.
yeah, it's got to be intriguing. So, which NFL teams have you met with?
I've met a few teams. The main teams that I've talked to have been the Lions, the Colts, the Chiefs, and the Cowboys. I've all talked to recently, and um, obviously have been excited to talk to whatever teams are interested, and look forward to talking to more teams at Pro Day, after Pro Day, and whatever comes down the line.
Well, at least you're getting some interest, man, because that just takes it just gets there in time. Like you just said, four intriguing teams, your hometown Lions, which is like something you would want to play for.
Mhm.
Then you got a team like Dallas, a big time marketing team. Then you got like the Chiefs, which they've been well known to win Super Bowls. I mean, those are intriguing options.
Yeah, all the teams that I've actually talked to, I've had buddies that went and played there, so it's really cool to see how possibly the chain is moving on. Like one of my buddies, Mike Caliendo, when I was a freshman, I really looked up to him, and possibly playing with him at the next level is going to be a really cool opportunity. And um, he was maybe a late round draft pick or a UDFA, and he's been in the league for a while now. So it's cool to see how Western Michigan has still been producing athletes and players, and it's cool to see every year I've been at Western we've had someone drafted. So looking forward to, or hopefully keeping that up this year. And we've got Dame Tucker, who's going to be a high draft pick, and then we got some later round draft picks that are going to be super exciting to see where they end up.
Yeah, it's kind of intriguing over the years. Like you said, there's some guys who transferred who came from Western Michigan, but then this guy that you guys got that came from Houston was really good. Nadeem Tucker. I've
Yeah.
seen a lot of good things out of that guy at the Senior Bowl. Yeah, it's got to be good to face against the best. Huh? So, what was it like facing against Nadeem Tucker in practice?
Yeah, he's a great player, and I've talked to a good amount of people that were like, "How good is he?" and stuff like this. But he honestly is that good. And I've played against great pass rushers that were great in the pass game, and I've played against great run stoppers, but he's a crazy mix of both, and just his power is awesome. And I loved going against him every day in practice. Really sharpened my sword, sharpened his sword, and we were able to talk about each other's tells were. This is what helped him win this rep, and I could tell him what is very challenging for me, and he was able to do the same. So it was really cool to see our relationship build throughout the camp and throughout practices, just learning from each other and creating greatness together.
Yeah, iron sharpens iron, like they say.
Yep, absolutely.
So, how do you prepare against your opponents, and what's your pregame game day routine?
Yeah, preparing against opponents. I think that all starts in practice. I think everyone would say that, but not just seeing the reps live while you're in the play, but mental reps are super important for me. Well, possibly another tight end is going or whatever it is, being able to put myself in their position, see what the defense is doing, stuff like that, super important for me. And then in the film room, what I like to do is have the script for what we've got in the game plan for whatever week that is, and going through formations and looking at what different defensive looks they've given throughout the years or however long that defense has been there, and seeing what I would need to do with the different plays that we have out of those formations for that game. So I possibly could see, oh, I see how this D end is lined up. I might be able to give the tackle a little bit more help on this, or possibly the Sam gives away the coverage with how wide he is, or whatever it is for the formations that we run. And seeing what my possible assignments would be, it prepares me for practice and then prepares me for the game. But what I take pride in is just preparing every practice as a game. And then when the game comes, people kind of change their routine, and that doesn't change for me. Every day before practice, I go to about 15 minutes of extra stretching, get me loosened up, and then hand-eye coordination is super important for me, and catch a bunch of tennis balls off the wall. And that's something I've been doing since high school, and really think it's benefited me as a player and really get you locked into the game. And the importance of your eyes is really how you catch the ball. And when you get lazy eyes, you end up dropping passes, and that's what nobody wants. And I think I can really take pride in that and haven't had many drops. And my eyes are super. I never allow them to get lazy, and I devote that to my pregame ritual and pregame routine and practice routine, because really your practice and pregame routine shouldn't be different.
Yeah, it should be a little different for most people how they look at the preparation, but like you just said it best. But what kind of style of offense did you play that can translate at the next level?
Yeah, I've played in four different offenses. I've had four different offensive coordinators. This past year was the only time that I had the same offense coordinator, and the offense was actually completely different. My first year with us, offense coordinator, we had more of a pro style, under center, a little bit less mobile quarterback that had a little bit more talented arm, and a very smart quarterback. So we had a bunch of checks, and we could have three plays called at the line, and it could change depending on what the look was. And then this past year, we had more of a triple option type offense. I'm not really sure if that's what you consider it, but our main runners were the QB and the running back, and then had some play action stuff, but still lived in some 13P both those years with that offensive coordinator, Coach Bell. Um, but we also, like I said earlier, I played in a tempo offense that was pretty much just one word, and you would have to know where to line up. So this was much different for me growing throughout the years. And then we had another offense that was a little bit more pro style, and like I said, had some checks, but also was able to put the tight end in a bunch of different spots. I was able to be split out by myself at the X, and then could motion in and whatever it was. I really have enjoyed all the offenses that I've been in, and think I have a unique talent to be able to take in whatever offense I get put in, just because I have so much experience learning all the offenses that I've been in. And each offense had a different dynamic. I've been in offenses where they checked everything, and we were at the line, and we had three plays called, and being able to go through that communication is important at the next level.
Oh, absolutely. You kind of shown that you're adaptable on any other offense. And like you said,
Hmm.
there was a lot of changes throughout your college career. So that's got to be a challenging kind of task, because like playing for so many years in college, you know, you usually prefer to play on one system and be consistent at it, but playing multiple systems throughout the years speaks volume about how capable you are.
Yeah, it was great. Learning the new offenses, and obviously you want to be able to be in an offense and go in depth with what the one offense that you've had, but having four different offenses, pretty much five different offenses, was really often awesome for me. Just being able to learn the different schemes of everyone. Like every offense coordinator has a different philosophy, but if you really boil it all down, all the plays are the same. It's just they might have a different name, they might be called at different times, but overall the concepts are pretty much the same. Maybe a few changes here and there, but overall just being able to soak in all the offenses and be able to think about all the philosophies of each of the coaches is super important for me, and I'm going to be able to be a better player before because of that, and that's really important to me and going to benefit me at the next level.
For sure. So, what do you take away from your 5 years at Western Michigan that will get you ready for the next level?
I would just say my passion for the game is super important for me, and just my resilience through the years. Being a walk on, being at the bottom of the barrel, some would say, is challenging, but just me continuing on and just having the perseverance to continue, excuse me, is super important. And working my way up the ladder and being a captain in my senior year was really cool to see how my career has grown. And I just pride myself on the consistency of continuing in growth. And I just want to continue challenging myself and being the best player and person that I can be. And I don't want to impact the team on just the field, but also as a leader and just creating the best culture possible is super important for me. And whether that's um, being the punt returner like I did this year, and I'm also trying to pick up that long snapping that I'm going to do at pro day and just let teams know that I'm willing to do whatever is required. So that's what's super important for me.
Well, you've been shown that you're adaptable and you had to go through some challenges in the early parts, so
Mhm.
that just proves you're built for this.
Right. Yeah. Completely agree and take pride in my resilience through the years. And um, I think a lot of people can say that, but they haven't really been through those ups and downs of challenges with their coaches and stuff like that. I know very few offensive players that have had four different offense coordinators, and but looking back at it, all my ups and downs have put me in this place, and thank God for all the challenges that He's given me.
For sure. I mean, it shows how more capable you are. And, you know, for those future athletes, why should they go to Western Michigan? You got to be convincing and recruiting me, man. Like, or some people like that in general.
Yeah, I think Western Michigan has grown to have a great culture nowadays, and it's changed throughout my years. It was a little bit more laid back my freshman and sophomore year, but then as time came on and Coach Taylor came on, the culture was much more serious and business-like. But we also were able to have fun, and that's when football isn't fun anymore. That's when you know you have an issue. But Western has done a great job at just pushing each other and raising the standard every day. And Coach Bernardi, our strength coach, is one of the key guys in that. And just raising the standard is something you hear every day, and you really see it. It's not just coaches that are calling people back for bad reps, but it's players as well. And having that player-led team is really important. And we were working to a MAC championship every year. Um, but the thing that really changed this past year was we were every day was a new day. And earlier on in my career, we were always looking forward to the MAC championship, but the process was really what the most important thing was, and that's what I learned my last year.
That's a lot to learn from, and you were competitive throughout those years. You know, it's got to be a good feeling to be a part of a winning program.
Yeah, it was really cool to see all that hard work throughout my 5 years. And obviously, with the transfer portal nowadays, not all of my freshman class was there, but being able to spend it with, I think there were maybe 8 or 9 guys that were still in my class. Seeing us go through the 5 years of long, hard work and just seeing it
Yeah.
all pay off was really cool and a great way to end my career.
Yeah, it's pretty rare, like you just said it, because a lot of these guys leave the program and go elsewhere, so it's kind of rare.
Yeah. Um, yeah.
Speaks volume how loyal you are. But what's an area of weakness that you need to improve on at the next level?
Area of improvement. I would say some people would say my height is probably a deficiency for me, but um, being able to just have consistent pad level and inside hands for the run game is super important for me. And I realized looking back, like if I lost a rep, it was either because of one of those two things, either inside hands were not good or my pad level was bad. So just focusing on those two things is important for me and going to be what I'm focusing my improvement on. And just growing as a player in that way is going to be my biggest improvement this off season.
Oh, for sure. I mean, most athletes have certain areas that we can definitely work on. But let's get to know more about you. Outside of football, who are you as a person?
Um, I Right now I'm in South Carolina training for pro day, obviously. I enjoy golfing, disc golfing, being outside. I customize shoes and cleats actually. So I've done a few my cause my cleats this past year and actually did our travel shoes at Western Michigan. I've got a fiance who is playing pro softball in Mexico. She's actually pitching right now. So I've got a great family and she's going to be with me for my next steps. And she's my biggest cheerleader, and I really appreciate her. And I'm really looking forward to these next steps with her.
For sure, man. That's got to be cool. Like having a girl soon to be your wife going to an event towards Mexico, like national. That's got to be pretty cool to look forward to.
Yeah, so last year she played softball in Italy, and then this year she's playing softball in Mexico in their professional league. So she's a great athlete, and she understands the challenges of being an athlete. And the time that I've spent playing football, she understands, and she's not someone to take me away from football. She wants to push me to be the best player I am and also be the best person and hardest worker. And that's something she's really benefited me with, and just her joy and creating a great, healthy relationship is really important for us.
Yeah, that kind of reminds me a little bit of Zach Ertz because he has a wife that plays soccer
Yes.
and
Yeah.
you compete for one another. So that's got to be cool that you guys make each other better.
Yep, definitely push each other and definitely competitive, whether it comes to board games or bananagrams or whatever it is that we're playing. We're always competitive and pushing each other to be the best version of ourselves. And that then brings us to our sports. Well, we're not ever going against each other and we can cheer each other on and really support each other in the best way possible. Super important.
Yeah, be the biggest supporters or be the biggest cheerleaders, like they say.
Yeah.
So let's get to know more about what you with the rapid fire and all that stuff. So PlayStation or Xbox, if you had to choose.
PlayStation.
Okay. NCAA or Madden.
I would have to say NCAA just so I could play with Western.
Oh, okay, because you could play yourself. That makes
Yeah.
sense. Well, I'm pretty sure if you get into the NFL, you're gonna play the Madden.
And then I guess if we do an interview in the future, I'll go with Madden.
Oh, okay, Madden, but you could still do superstar mode on Madden and just create yourself.
Yeah, I could.
You could just do that.
Yeah, I haven't really played as much Madden. Me and my buddies would play Superstar Knockout a little bit, but
Okay.
nothing too in depth.
Oh, okay. But at least you kind of like I mean, NCAA you can't go wrong because you can play yourself, like you just said.
Right.
Okay, let's say a cheat diet, man. You could just take a break out of your health and all that. So McDonald's or Burger King if you had to choose.
Ooh, I'm gonna have to go with McDonald's. I just think overall their menu and definitely the breakfast menu, I could definitely go for a sausage, egg and cheese McGriddle on a cheat day.
Oh, see, you can't go wrong with that. Like I like the McMuffins, but like I said, there's another thing we can go on the cheat diet like soda. I know it's a part of the most common thing we try to stay away from, but between Coke or Pepsi, what would you choose?
I I'm gonna go with neither. I'm gonna go with Dr. Pepper. A Dr.
Okay.
Pepper strawberries and cream is my go-to if I stop at the gas station.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, I guess you had to put your alternate replacement. Okay, I'll allow that.
What would you go for?
What would I go for? Probably like I don't know. I'm more of a Pepsi kind of person, but I try to
Pepsi?
stay away from it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of it. Like as far as like culture food, do you like Mexican food or soul food, man?
I would
or
go with Mexican food. When I was younger, I know it's not real Mexican food, but Taco Bell was my favorite place to go. But overall, just love tacos and quesadillas.
but if you were to come to California, you'll love our Mexican food culture.
I'm sure I would.
Even Texas, they got their own thing.
Yeah.
Like I'm pretty sure that will be something it'll be more than just Taco Bell or the other stuff that you like, man. Like all the other guests, you'll like other stuff they got, the burritos and all the good stuff.
Yeah, I'll have my fiance bring something back from Mexico for me.
Oh, but you like the Mexican food, so that's a start, man.
Exactly.
But if you were to come into the Bay or come into Southern California, they got some good Mexican food over there.
Do they?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Like I'll take my word, but if I'm wrong, man, you can call me out on that.
All right.
But in all seriously, bro, whatever happens from the journey, bro, it's gonna pay dividends, bro. Whatever goes, I'm definitely gonna root for you. Definitely appreciate your time, bro. So the opportunity presents itself, bro. So for those people, tell them who you are again and tell them what you're currently doing.
Yeah, my name's Blake Bosma. I'm a tight end from Western Michigan, pursuing the NFL and looking forward to these next steps.
For sure. And for everybody else, man, go check out Western Michigan tight end Blake Bosma. This man has done it all. He's adaptable. He's a blocking tight end. He can catch the ball. So there's nothing wrong about this guy. This guy should be on everybody's radar, but we'll see how it plays out, man. You got an opportunity to prove the entire league that you're draftable.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, yeah. No problem. And for everybody else, thank you guys for tuning in.